Okay, so square roots. Square root of 49. Square root of 49. What two numbers will multiply to 49? Yes.
The two numbers will be 7 times 7 itself.
Okay, so it's cube. So the square root of 49 is 7. Now here's something we haven't seen yet. Your answer can be positive 7 or negative 7, and it's denoted as plus or minus 7. And the reason is if you take positive 7 and you multiply by positive 7, you get an answer of positive what? Positive 49. Or, on the flip side, if you take negative 7 times negative 7, what is your answer? Again, positive 49. So the square root of a number can be the positive or the negative. Now, the next one, the negative square root of 121. The negative square root of 121. Now, be careful with this one. Is the negative inside or outside the radical? Outside. Okay, so first take, what is the square root of 121? What is the square root of 121? Good, so the square root is 11, and just bring the negative sign over with it. So it's negative 11. The square root of 16 over 25. You could look at this. You could always try to simplify what's inside first. 16/25. Can I simplify that fraction? No? Okay. You could also look at this as the square root of 16 over the square root of 25. So it's almost taking the square root of each number individually. What is the square root of 16? 4. Over, what is the square root of 25? 5. So in this case, 4 over 5. Most of this I feel like you guys should be perfect with. I know we talked a little bit about square roots already. There should be no problems here. Questions so far? Okay, now I have an answer. Now this should be looking familiar as well. Square root of x equals 7. Now here I want to solve for x. I want to solve for x, so I do not want that square root sign there. Square root of 7, square root of x equals 7. So how do I get rid of this square root sign?
Do you have to square it like?
Good, the opposite. What the opposite of the square root is?
Square it.
What I do to one side,
So now it's square 7. So
must do to the other side. The square root and the square simplify, and you're just left with x equals 7 squared, 49. So x equals 49. And again, if you plug back in, what's the square root of 49? 7, and you can check your work that way. Square root of a equals 4/5. The square root of a equals 4/5. How do I get rid of the square root of a?
you square it.
Good. The opposite of taking the square root is squaring it. What I do to one side, do to the other side. So I'm going to square both sides. The square root and the square simplify. See you later. Leaving me with just a equals 4/5 squared. What is 4/5 squared? What does that mean, 4/5 squared? Good. So 4/5 times 4/5 or 16 over 25. Very good.
When we get 16 over 25, wait, actually, no.
If you could reduce, reduce. If that was a question, always try to reduce. Square root of 9 squared. The square root of 9 squared.
I think first take the square root of 9 is 81, and then the square root of 9.
Okay, you can take that approach. You can say the square root of 81, and then the square root of 81 is 9. How else can I solve this? What else can you do?
You could simplify
You can simplify. Excellent. What can you simplify?
the 2 and the square root.
Very good. So the 2 in the square root, so you don't even have to multiply through. You can say, okay, the square root and the square simplify, leaving me with just an answer of 9. Questions so far? The square root of 4 cubed times 4 to the 7th. The square root of 4 cubed times 4 to the 7th. A little tricky. Can I simplify first, Sam?
Yeah, you can. You can add 7 and 3.
Okay, keep my bases, and I get 4 to the
10.
10th power. Excellent. So now what is the square root of 4 to the 10th power? Here's a question I have for you guys. And the sooner you learn this, the better it will be, especially when you get to algebra. Can the square root be written as an exponent? Can the square root be written as an exponent? What do you think? Can the square root be written as an exponent?
Yes, because like the last problem we did when it was 9 to the second, it was equal to 81. Then that.
So, okay, I like what you said. So 9 to the second. So looking back at this problem here, 9 to the second. So this is 9 to the second. And this 2 here is simplified. So what can I multiply 2 by to get 1? What can I multiply 2 by to get 1? 2 times 0 will be 0. What can I multiply 2 by to get 1? Say it.
0.5.
0.5 or 1/2. So the square root can also be written as a half power. So I could also rewrite this as 4 to the 10th. But rather than writing the square root sign, I'm going to substitute the square root sign with a exponent of 1/2. Now what is 4 to the 10th raised to the 1/2 power? What is 4 to the 10th raised to the 1/2 power? Think about yesterday's lesson. It was 4 to the 10th raised to the 1/2 power. Excellent. 4 to the 5th. How'd you get 4 to the 5th?
Because I just multiplied 10 and a half and a half.
Excellent. So this becomes 4 to the 10th times 1/2, which is equal to 4 to the 5th power. Excellent. Questions? Okay, that's a little bit above and beyond what we're going to be doing, but I want you guys to start looking at these examples also. Cube roots. We have square roots, cube roots. So what number times itself 3 times will give you 8? What is the cube root of 8? What number times itself 3 times?
2.
Excellent. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So the cube root of 8 is 2. What number times itself 3 times will give you 64? What number times itself 3 times will give you 64?
16. 4.
Excellent. 4. And what is the cube root of 7 cubed? What is the cube root of 7 cubed? The cube root of 7 cubed. Cube root of 7 cubed.
7.
Excellent. 7 again, okay? So the cube root and the cube will simplify one another, and you're just left with 7. You could have multiplied 7 times 7 times 7, and then take the cube root. But why go that far? The cube root, the cube, simplify, you're just left with 7.
So it's almost like multiplying by 2 and then multiplying by a half.
So, exactly. So if this is 7 to the 3rd, what power should I raise this to get an answer of 7 to the 1st? What power, what exponent can the cube root be written as to get 1 here? So what would I multiply 3 by to get 1? What would I multiply 3 by to get 1? Half would work for the square root, but now we're talking about a cube root. What would I multiply by? 1/3. Excellent. So the cube root can be written as an exponent of 1/3. Okay, so you can write these either way. Okay, a couple more. The cube root of x equals 2. The cube root of x equals 2. How do I get rid of this cube root? How do I get rid of the cube root?
Multiply by 1/3.
How do I get rid of the cube root?
You
Cube it. Excellent. What I do to one side? Everybody? Do it to the other. Excellent. So the cube root and the cube will simplify one another. Adios, leaving me with just x. And then 2 to the third power means 2 times 2 times 2. I should get an answer of 8. The cube root of a equals 3. The cube root of a equals 3. How do I solve for a?
cube it.
Cube it. Cube one side, cube the other side. The cube and the cube root, simplify. I'm left with a equals, and then 3 to the third power, or 3 cubed, 3 times 3 times 3, I get an answer of 27. Excellent. Try this one for a second. So I got the cube root of x to the 7th times x squared. What can I do first?
Add the extra.
Good. Multiplying x to the 7th times x squared, same bases, add the exponents, so I have the cube root of x to the 9th. How else can I rewrite this? X to the 9th to what power? X to the 9th to what power? Say it. To the what power? 1/3. Now what is x to the 9th raised to the 1/3 power? What is x to the 9th raised to the 1/3 power? What do I do with these two exponents here?
Multiply that and then you get x to the 3rd.
Excellent. So 9 times 1/3 is just x to the 3rd.
What would the cube root of x to the 6th be?
Don't they?
Cube root of x to the 6th. So think about how would I rewrite this?
Do 1/6.
How could I rewrite this? X to the 6th to what power?
X to the 6 to the 18. No, 1. Yeah, 1/5.
1/3 power. And now what's x to the 6th to the 1/3 power? So what's 6 times 1/3?
3.
X to the
2.
x squared or x to the 2nd power? We had a question before.
Well, you know how it's cubed up there, so when did the 3 exponent cancel out? It's like x.
This cube
Yeah.
simplifies with 9.
Oh, okay.
These are more algebraic, but you'll be there soon. How many cubes are there in this cube? How many cubes are there in this cube?
How many 1 by 1 cubes?
How many 1 by 1 cubes are there in this 4 by 4 by 4 cube? How many 1 by 1 by 1 cubes are in this 4 by 4 by 4 cube? How do I start?
You multiply 4 by 4 by 4.
Excellent. So I'm going to take 4 times 4 times 4. What is that actually going to give me on this cube? What will that represent?
How many cubes?
How many cubes? What else does that represent?
4 in the 3rd.
4 to the 3rd. What else does this represent? Taking this length, this width, and this height. So this is the volume of the cube. So the volume of the cube is 4 cubed, or 4 cubed, which equals 4 cubed, which equals 64 whatever the units are, units cubed.
The interesting ones are where they do a cube like that, but some of them are taken out. And then you have to tell.
The volume of a cube is s cubed. So take your side and cube it. If the volume is 279 centimeters cubed, how long is one side of the cube? The volume of a cube is s cubed, such that s is the side of a cube. If the volume is 279 centimeters cubed, how long is one side of the cube?
Would you like them to use like an equation?
An equation would help you.
Look at the volume formula.
So here's a big hint. S cubed represents the volume of the cube. 279 centimeters cubed represents the centimeters of a cube. How can I write this as an equation?
Would be the cube root of 279.
Okay, v cubed equals 279, or
S cube.
s cubed, or, excuse me. Or we also said that s can be written as the cube root of 279 centimeters cubed. And we got that by taking the cube root of both sides, because I'm solving for s. What is the cube root of 279? What is the cube root of 279? Not an easy one.
Start with like easy numbers, like what's 10 times 10 times 10? Perfect, 10 times 10 times 10. That's too big. 5 times 5 times 5. It's in between 5 and 10.
Okay, any guesses? Cube root of 279?
7.
7. 7 times 7 times 7. Any other guesses? Cube root of
8.
8. 8 times 8 times 8. What else?
6.
6. 6 times 6 times 6.
Is there a perfect cube root of 279?
I don't think there is actually. Alright. For now, if there is no perfect cube, just leave it the way it is. Your answer would be s equals the cube root of 279. However, what is the cube root of centimeters cubed? If you think about this for a second, what is the cube root of centimeters cubed? Oh, the cube root of centimeters cubed. What do you think? What's the cube root of x cubed?
A third.
Cube root of x cubed. What would be the cube root of x cubed?
9.
Cube root of x cubed.
X.
Just x. Your cube and your cube root. Simplify. You're just left with x. Take that same example. What's the cube root of centimeters cubed? Look, just your cube and your cube root. See you later, and you're just left with centimeters. So that means whenever we go back to our side, that's why the side is only in centimeters.
You probably should show them eventually how you do the cube root on the calculator.
We'll get there actually, absolutely. All right, solving radical equations. So we did one similar to this. Square root of x equals 5. What's my step on this one? Square root of x equals 5. I want x by itself. What do?
You have to square.
Square both sides. x equals 25. Square into square root, see you later. Square of both, x equals 25. Let's bring it up a notch. 20 times the square root of x equals 100. Okay, so whenever you see a coefficient in front of your radical sign, it's multiplication. Okay? My first goal is I want to get the square root of x by itself. I don't want that 20 there. So if this is 20 times the square root of x equals 100, how do I get rid of that 20? Excellent. Divide by 20. What I do to one side, do to the other. Square root of x equals, what's 100 divided by 20? 5. Excellent. And then back to the original. Square both sides. X equals 25. Okay, so if there's a coefficient in front of the radical, get rid of that first. What if I have the square root of x minus 10 equals negative 5? All right, there's no coefficient in front of the radical, but there is a minus 10 on the left side of the equation that I do not want there. How do I get that minus 10 on the other side of the equation? Okay. Add 10 to both sides. So here I have the square root of x equals negative 5 plus 10, 5. And right back to my original, square root of x equals 5. Square both sides. X equals 25. Okay. These last two problems are more algebra problems. Okay, this is a little bit more advanced than what we need to do, but I want you guys to see it. Okay, next year when you guys are in algebra, I want you guys to notice this.